Hi guys, welcome back to part 2, and we're gonna start scaling our fish. Now unfortunately, razor tip, I didn't order the right scales for this was for my last fish, and look how tiny that is. That would like not look good at all. That big on this kind of the size of a fish. So you got to make your own kind of thing. So what I did was you get extra pieces of wire, which is good. All I wanted to do was make like just sort of like a loop. You could see that. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's what I'm going to use on my fish. Now, the one thing I'm going to do, I'll bring it down here a bit so you can see, is I like to take, just like everything else, like carving, I'll take a center line. So I'll just take a pencil and I'll draw a center line so you could see there's my center line. I'll do that on sort of on both sides. Well, not sort of, I will do them on both sides. And then we know that you don't even have to put a center line for the top because it's already, the wood was, this is 2 pieces, right? So that's just perfect. Now what you could do, what I usually do with my fish is to keep them uniformed. You can measure out what size your scales are. Now fish scales are a lot different. They go from big to small, but like I said, this is not going to be over the top, you know, like how would you say, it's not going to be professional style. Like, we're not going to go to tournaments with it. So what you could do is you could put a line like I just did there. I don't know, you can see that little line there I put right here, right here. And then what you could do is you could follow that line all the way through. But you got to remember too, is when you're going around the gills, now that line's going to get different. So it's an easy fix. What I'm going to do, and I'll show you here, I'll bring you right down and I'll show you. I'm going to take my scales and I'm just going to go on that sideline first. So let's heat it up. My razor tip is an older one, so I have to keep it to 10 to really check it out to see what it's going to burn at in that. So what I'll do is I'll just drop one scale in first, and then I'll drop all the first line of my fish. So you can even see how that's working, like an M. You really want to get a good burn on it, not to the point where it's gonna disfigure it. One thing too, guys, try not to overlap your scales because that looks like hell. Okay, so I'll just show you here. I'm gonna do a couple on this line. If you can see that, I'll try to keep it visible for you. Some wood burns better than others. Some takes a little bit longer. Sometimes you have to stop, and that's why I like using my punches when I'm doing anything when it comes up to burning or making making scales. I don't have to worry about this shit, but a lot of it is to do with, you know, the wire not touching here properly, so always having to tighten up. You can get yourself some fixed pins too, that's perfect. Also, I always take a little sandpaper and try to get any kind of debris off it. That helps too. Like, this thing's at 10. It should be cooking a chicken right now, but it's not. So, and then what I want to show you is when you're doing the second scale is go see the top of the lumps there, the 2 lumps. You want to go on top of that and pick a spot. And you can see that. Just even that little cleaning helped out. And I know with the punches that I would use would be a lot deeper. It would help a lot out. I think a lot better than this. And this takes forever, I'm telling you. Like, you know, if you're gonna start scaling a fish, a snake, you know, just sitting here doing this, it takes a lot of patience, guys. I mean, you have to have it, but it's part of the process, and that's what people who do carving, they'll do. Some people will use a knife, you know, and so on and so forth, but that's up to you. Like, you know, they'll release carve some of the pieces. Sometimes if you just kind of wiggle it around, you can get a nice burn out of it too. But unfortunately, I would rather have a punch and punch them all in, but that's not what it is. Now again, this is not exactly what you would call the right scale for this walleye. But you could also, you know, you could put a couple of lines in here after when you're done, and that would make it look a lot better. You just get one in the middle, and then bring the ones, I have to say about 3 lines would work. One in the middle and the ones on the outside of it. And it just gives it a better look. And then when you paint it, you'll see. So let me fix this up and I'll be right back. So we did a little bit of burning. We got it at the right heat, right when you can touch it and you can see that smoke. That's what I like, because it burns a lot hotter and a lot faster. Sometimes you have issues with your piece, but like, just make sure that you're not overlapping. You see how I'm going between each one of them? That's what I was talking about, not overlapping, trying to get it so that it doesn't look like it's basically going one on top of the other. That's what you don't want. You want to have some sort of form in there, I guess. I don't know, I'm not a fish expert. I don't really know. Try not to breathe in this stuff. Should be wearing a respirator, but I keep on blowing it. So, and making sure that your carving is, you know, it has a good flat kind of edge to it is always a good idea also. So again, just very quickly doing this because it's burning right nicely. I will keep on going at it, and I'll show you a bit more when we get to the end, because there's still a lot of burning. All right guys, so here we're back. Finished up the scaling, and you can see I put little lines in each one of them all the way around. everywhere, and the eyes. I just, you know, for the fun of it. Next step is, of course, priming and then putting the fins on. We could do the fins first and the prime, then fins, whatever, it doesn't matter, because again, remember, when we cut the fish in half, we can only do partial fins. Probably just the ones you're gonna see. Like, you'll see, what are these, dorsal fins, I think they're called, and the anal fin. And you'll see a little of, I think that's the pectoral fin, I'm not sure. I could, you know, I'm not a professional, kind of dug into there. So all I'm gonna do is give this a shot of white paint, and I'm using the Rust-Oleum, that's not the cap, I think, yeah. It's just a white, it's a fast drying, all purpose spray enamel. Now, I just put this on there because it'll be a base coat. Now, a lot of people say, why the hell would you burn all that, take all that time to burn it? Like, you're not going to see that. Well, you will see it, but it'll be in color. You have to put, you know, when you airbrush it, they'll have these guys pop out a little bit more. Unfortunately, these are not there. Who cares? It'll be more at the bottom of the fish. You won't see it. That's what we're looking for, is that kind of look. So I'm just going to go out and spray it, and I'll come back. All right, so I gave it a coat of primer. Yes, I did drill a hole in it. That's okay, because it's going to be cut in half. We're not going to see that anyway, and I want to hold it up. So this is what it's going to look like for now until we airbrush it. I guess that'll be kind of part 2, because then the fins and that I'll just do on my own. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that because it's a pain in the ass. I don't even know how to do it properly, and as a beginner, you know, there's way more better people out there that can show you how to carve fins. I just want to get this process done, then we can get to the table. All right, thanks for watching. This is part 2. Part 3 is going to be the airbrushing of it all once I get the fins on it, and then well, it's going to have to be maybe part 4, because we're going to have to work on the table. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Choose your own path. Stay tuned.